Hey guys, sorry about not uploading for a while. I've just been debating whether or not I should edit my videos, and I've decided after some careful consideration, I'm not going to edit any more of my videos because my last one got really desynced. So, yeah, from now on, these videos are just going to come out in a straight line, I guess you could say. Plus, I got done watching my Bears take apart the self-destructive Packers as my guy Brian Urlacher got a pass deflection that caused an interception and he forced a fumble. And then Devin Hester ran back a punt for a touchdown for the first time in a couple of years. Life is good. Anyway, I got your waiver wire winners for week 3 this week, and every one of these guys is owned in less than 15% of Yahoo leagues. So you might want to capitalize on this because this is some good stuff. Now, for my quarterbacks, it was a real close decision between Charlie Batch, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Bruce Gradkowski. All three of them are owned in 5% or fewer fantasy football leagues on Yahoo.com. But I decided to go with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I must say, I didn't think that I'd ever say this about a Bills quarterback, but I was genuinely impressed with what he did against the Patriots. Let me point that out. The Patriots. Gradkowski did it against Arizona. Charlie Batch did it against Tampa Bay. And although they were undefeated, it's still Tampa, okay? But still, Fitzpatrick did it against the Patriots and nearly won. And I'll be honest with you, for the Bills, nearly beating somebody is progress. I don't mean to be disrespectful to Bills fans out there, but yeah, I think your coaching staff is full of idiots. Alright, let's see how much hate mail I get for that one. But anyway, Ryan Fitzpatrick did really well, I must say. Despite his 2 interceptions, he got 247 yards and 2 touchdowns while adding 18 yards on the ground. I must say, that's pretty good for a Bills quarterback. And he almost got the W, and he's only owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues, and it appears like he's going to be the starter for the Bills for what it's worth. So, he could be interesting in really deep formats, 16 to 20 leaguers, but outside of that, I wouldn't pick up Fitzpatrick. I mean, I'm worried this might be a one-time thing. Okay, at running back, it was another pretty interesting choice. I could have gone with Peyton Hillis. He put up the 3rd highest fantasy total for running backs this week, but he's owned in 48% of leagues. So I looked a little farther down, and I found BenJarvus Green-Ellis. Now, while everybody else was talking about Fred Taylor, I had my eye on BenJarvus, and I actually picked him up in my 20-team league. Turns out, it worked out pretty well. 98 yards rushing with a touchdown and 6 yards receiving. That is, if I'm not mistaken, the 8th highest total among running backs this week. Not too shabby, if I must say. And he's only owned in 11% of leagues. Now, let me just say, Lawrence Maroney is a Bronco now, and who's the other guy? Sammy Morris is gone down with an injury for the rest of the season. So, I think that BenJarvus is going to get a lot more carries in the near future. And I've heard people say that the reason that Lawrence Maroney left for Denver was because of BenJarvus. So I think that he's going to become a pretty integral part of this offense. Look for Green-Ellis. Pick him up. I would definitely recommend owning Mr. Green-Ellis. At wide receiver, no question. I got to go with Lance Moore. I mean, this guy, it was simply ridiculous. Now, before we go too far into this, I must say, don't pick up Lance Moore, okay? This was as one-time of a thing as you could possibly get, okay? No discredit to him or anything, but he's the number 4 receiver in a system that likes to spread the ball around, which means he'll get some carries, or he'll get some receptions, but I doubt that he'll get the type of game that he pulled off this week against Atlanta. Even though they lost, he still was able to pick up what I think it was 6 receptions for 149 yards and 2 TDs. Must say, that's pretty good. Yeah, I was right, 6 catches for 149, including a career-long 72-yard punt returner. Actually, that's not including. So, yeah, we're talking about 214 total yards for Mr. Moore. Very nicely done. But, as I've said, I think it's probably only going to be a one-time thing. Don't look for him to pull off the same thing next week. And finally, at tight end, I think that this one's pretty obvious. If you saw the play that I'm about to allude to, then you'll definitely agree with me. I think that this week's waiver wire winner at tight end is Tony Moeki. I mean, seriously, this guy is really starting to look like a starting tight end. Somebody that you could go to in your league, all right? He only got 44 yards and a touchdown, but if you saw that touchdown, it was kind of like a diving, one-handed, falling backwards, about to go out of bounds, catch in the end zone, touchdown! It's pretty exciting to see, I must say. So, if you're in need of a tight end, and with the bye week starting to come up, I am actually in need of a tight end. Unfortunately, Tony Moeki is not going to be available next week due to a bye. But if he was available this week or for next week's game, I would have definitely picked him up. Somehow, Greg Olson's still available in my league, so I'm picking him up first chance I get. But aside from that, Tony Moeki, he could get interesting. I think that you're going to see a pretty quick line to start picking up Mr. Moeki. Or perhaps, seeing as how tight end isn't exactly a very sought-after position, you might be able to get a pretty good deal on Mr. Moeki. You never know. I'd suggest go checking him out. He's only owned in 9% of fantasy leagues, so there's a very good chance that he'll be available in yours. So, to recap, for quarterback, I got Ryan Fitzpatrick for the Bills. He's only owned in 3%. For the running back, it's been Jarvis Green-Ellis for the Patriots, who's owned in 11%. Lance Moore for New Orleans is my wide receiver, owned in 13%. And Tony Moeki for the Chiefs is owned in only 9%. By the way, before I end this video, sorry my head was so low for the majority of this video. I'm not really that short. I'm short, but not that short. But what I was going to say, is anybody else kind of surprised that the only 3 teams left undefeated at the end of week 3 are the Bears, the Chiefs, and the Benless Steelers? I think I speak for everybody when I say, what is wrong with this picture? Leave your comments down below. See you later.